Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. My channel is all about succulents and cacti in my balcony garden and lots of houseplants in my apartment. And today I am sharing with you my plant room, which is where I do have a lot of plants, first of all, but I do a lot of my repotting. I do pretty much all my filming here too, and I've had it now for not very long, maybe about 7-8 months since my daughter moved out and I took over her bedroom. And some of it has changed if you have been with me for a little while and watched the very first episode, the debut of it. And I just wanted to share with you what's changed, what's new, and some plans that I have for it also, okay? So let's get to it. So here is the entryway into what is actually the second bedroom in my apartment. It used to be my daughter's room, but I quickly took it over as my plant room, and also art studio. I haven't done a whole lot of art in here because I've been so busy with the plants and the filming and the channel, but you know, it's changed some since the last 7-8 months that I've had it. I've lost some plants, I've added a lot of plants, and I still feel like there's room for more plants, and I have some ideas that I want to run by you and see what you think. So as you walk in, obviously you'll see the big 6-foot long table, foldable table that I already had, that I put in the center here, and that's where I sit. The tripod is usually right over there, and I film my videos here. Sometimes I'm sitting over there. But underneath I have bins of soil that I've mixed, or new soil that I've purchased, and you know, trash can and everything. So this is kind of the center of it, and I have my plants all around the outskirts of it. So let's just start off over here with this shelving. This is the backdrop that you probably recognize and have seen in a lot of my videos. I have you know, some old art stuff there, camera stuff. Let's talk about the plants. That's why you're here. This is my Philodendron Burl Marks. This is Mark, and he's doing wonderful. Lots of new growth in there. He was bushy when I got him. I got him a plant stand of Arizona. I paid, I think it was $48 for him. And he was big when I got him, but he is just giving off so many new leaves and still giving off so much more. I just love him. He is quite the statement plant, and is my Gasteria Little Warty that was in recovery because it had sun damage, and now it's doing great. Up here, my Peperomia watermelon this is from Costa Farms. I got it at Walmart. Oh, I didn't even realize it has a bloom there. I didn't even see that. Oh, surprise too. And it is still in its original soil. I have not repotted him because it was doing so well, and I was just concerned repotting it would disrupt the root system. But I don't know, because I was actually talking to someone about this yesterday on my Instagram, Patrick, and we noted how the Costa Farms potting mix is so grainy and sandy, like peat moss or coco coir. Really has no perlite, nothing chunky in it. The plants I've gotten from them have always been kind of soggy, and so for that reason I wanted to change it, and I let it dry out, but it seems so happy in it, so I'm you know, waiting for it to dry out pretty much all the way before I change it. Next to it is my Homalomina Emerald Gem, I think it's called, but it is on its last leg. I got this last year from Home Depot, and it was a beautiful lush plant, and I had put it in ICU, and I thought it was going to do well, and just nothing I did made this plant happy. So if it goes this time, it goes. I'm not going to, you know, do the extra effort to give it CPR, resuscitate it, or anything like that. This is my Tradescantia Nanook, and I did lose actually a couple of stems. One of them I have propagating because, you know, Tradescantias are pretty easy to propagate, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this one seems to be growing well, and I'm happy with that. This one you probably saw in my last video, my Maranta Lemon Lime. Look at those. That leaf about to unfurl there. Another one unfurling there. So happy with this plant. My Neon Pothos, which still has a little bit of remains of the sun damage that it got in another window that it was in. And I put it over here, and it seems to like it much more. And you know, the leaves, oh, tiny little variegation there. Look at that. Oh, hadn't noticed that. So I'm happy with it here. And it's about a good 10, 11 feet back from the east facing window. And then here is my bird's nest fern that I got from Urban Jungle. I love the look of it here on this shelf, top of these vintage books, the pot. And it's doing really good. It's lost a couple leaves at the bottom there, but I don't know if you can see it, maybe if I tilt it. But there is some coming in inside there. So it's doing great. I do mist it and keep it evenly moist. So I have not repotted this one. This was in the same soil, but that soil looks good. It's chunkier, it's not as fine. Let me get over here. And this one is, you know, Terry. I talked about Terry in my last video, my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma that I believe is tissue culture and has finally woken up and given me these two new leaves. Sorry about the lighting here. So hard to get the lighting right for filming, you know, because I've got the grow lights and everything. But anyway, Terry's doing really well. Gonna have to, when I open this door here, the leaf kind of hits it, so have to be careful about that. But Terry's doing great. Now on this wall, I've got a lot of my art supplies there. And like I said, I haven't been doing a whole lot of artwork lately. I've just been so much more inspired with my plants that I haven't been doing so much. So I'm thinking of purging some stuff, making some room in the closet here, because this is a walk-in closet, putting this away and putting right here an IKEA greenhouse. But not the ones, I'll show you a picture of the one I'm looking at and thinking of here. It looks very retro, clinic medicine cabinet like. And, you know, I didn't want the other one, larger one. I need something narrow and small. So I'm thinking of getting that later on in the year and putting that right here. So here I have some storage. And on top I have my propagations and ICU and stuff. I did want to show you one little gadget. Not too long ago I got this thing because I was tired of wiping up the dirt on top of the table when I would repot. So I got this. And it just sucks it right up and I empty it. And I love it. It is so much easier to clean up. So here on top I've got some propagations and some ICUs. This one here is my Alocasia lowrider that is being treated for, I think, the third time for spider mites. Found spider mites earlier in the week on it. again. This one does have, you see that? It does have a leaf coming out. Lost the leaf that was right here to the spider mites. And this one looks like it's going out, but it's giving one off before it goes. This is an amaryllis that I'm surprised is still giving off leaves, because I had cut it down, but it's giving off leaves. It had already bloomed, so I wasn't going to you know, have it outside or anything, so I just put it here, but it gives off leaves. And here, see if I can get it without the light there, this is a little test tube propagation station that I'm trying out, and it was sent to me by a subscriber. It is magnetic, and here is the little Tradescantia nanook piece that the root had rotted, so I took the top portion. I'm trying to root that. Isn't it pretty? So I've got it right here, and hopefully it'll take. Here is my Aglaonema Lucky Red. I had showcased this one in my video of plants that I'm struggling with, and it's still holding out. The leaf looks good. I mean, it's small, but I think hopefully it'll pull through and give off more leaves. This is what I really want to show you. This is what I'm really proud of. These are the cuttings that I took from my string of hearts, and it's doing so well. You see all the light colored leaves there? Those are all new. If I tug on it, there's resistance, meaning there's roots down there. But yeah, it's working, and I'll show you the main plant where I cut them off, that's also growing. And I'm thinking probably another 3 to 4 weeks while I will take these out and pot them up with the mother plant to make it bigger. These are some cuttings that I took from my string of bananas that are rooting there. Hopefully it'll be done. They take a while to root. Hopefully they'll be done in another 3 to 4 weeks. I've got some Hoyas, a Hoya cumingiana that I'm trying to save. I've got one stem that's left of it, and then I'm trying to save this tiny little stem. It's the glass that it looks green, because I just changed the water on this. But this shape of jar is so hard to clean, but the water is clean. These are some trails that I'm trying to root for Hoya australis. I don't know if it's going to work or not. This is what's left of my crocodile fern. It started, even though I had it right here next to the humidifier, it started getting crispier and crispier. And yeah, that's what's left of it. So not sure what's going to happen. This is my syngonium that I had talked to you about in my plants I'm struggling with video. It's doing okay. I mean, it's still got some of the, you know, crispiness on the leaves, but a lot of them are looking okay. So I'm leaving it there and seeing if it will recover. So on this little table, I've got a basket just from some supplies, my Ellick Holmes humidifier, which I love, absolutely love it. Here's another one that I'm really, really proud of, my Begonia Immaculata. It's grown so much since I got it, and it's just beautiful, really, really beautiful. And I want to get another cane style begonia, because I did lose the Rex begonia that I got at the same time as this one. Did not make it, so I realized that cane begonias are easier for me. So I'm looking to get another one of those. So on here, this is the shelving, bamboo shelving that is actually a wardrobe That's why it has that bar there for hanging clothes, but I've used it for my plants. And I'll leave a link to this and the humidifier and all that down below in the description box. So up here I have my Hoya linearis. It's growing very slowly. And then I have this, I believe it's a Hornia. Not hernia, but Hornia. I'll put the name on the screen here. And I've had to pin down, you see there's some of them, because they had gotten long and they broke off. So these are super, super easy to root again. You just pop them back in. But I pinned them down so they'll stay down. Otherwise, it's doing really well. I brought in my pickle plant because I thought, you know what, I think it needs some more care. I wasn't happy with how thin it was growing on top here. So I brought it in and put it under this grow light to see if I can get it to give off some more arms and kind of straighten itself out. So we'll see. And then I have my Thanksgiving cacti, which did bloom again. Recently. This is like a hot pink color, but I have it here under the light. You can see some of the redness on the leaves from the light. The sun's kind of like sun stress, but it's doing so much better up here under the grow light than it was like near a window, and it actually rebloomed while it was over here. And then I brought over my Philodendron Birkin because I didn't think it was doing well in front of the patio door, and the leaves were taking super long to open up. So I brought it here under the grow light and it's doing so much better. The leaves are starting to grow out and open up. The ones that were real white are getting more of the green, and the other leaves are just doing so fabulous. And it's loving life right here next to its other philodendron cousin. This is the Philodendron Royal Queen, I think. Yeah, Royal Queen. And she was also having some trouble opening up that leaf. I do miss these two philodendrons, so they'll open up their leaves a little bit better. A subscriber gave me that information, so I have been misting them every morning to see if they'll open up a little easier. So moving down below, I have a Hartley philodendron here that is struggling, let's just say. I mean, she's got some leaves that are not looking good, but then she's giving off leaves, but they're small. So I moved her here under the grow light and right next to the humidifier, thinking hopefully that will help. We'll see. It may be, because it is giving off new leaves there. And then the Pilea peperomioides right behind it. It's doing great. All those leaves in the center there are brand new. Get it to focus. It hasn't given off any pups off the side, but it's young still. So I'm hoping that this spring it will do that. And then here I've got 3 different Hoyas that I was sent as cuttings. Small roots on them, and they've grown so wonderful. Here's the Hoya pubicalis with a brand new leaf on it. Hoya carnosa with brand new growth on it down there. It's getting crowded on this little tray too. And then the Hoya Burtoniae. And then these 3 leaves on top are brand new. So it's just given off those. So I'm really happy with these, and they're happy in this little chunky soil. I'm not going to be repotting them for quite a while until they get much bigger. Then I'll repot them. And then I've got a smaller bird's eye nest here, bird's nest. And this was Coast, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, so it's got a little bit of crunchiness, but I've been misting it. And then down in there, I don't know if you can see way down in there, it does have some new fronds coming out. So hopefully it will do well. Now this fern here, she's just lovely. I love her. This is my Kangaroo Paw Fern. And look at all those roots that have grown out and the leaves growing off of that. She's just doing great. And I keep her evenly moist. Sometimes I'll water her from above. Sometimes I'll put water down below here in the saucer and it'll suck it up. Do mist her. And she's just loving life. I had to move the other plant that was hanging here because she just took over the whole spot. And you can see how she's growing outwards. I may have to turn her so the other leaves can get some light from this grow light down here. I have 2 of these grow lights and I'll link them down below. These 3 lights that are like gooseneck arms on them. I love them. I have one in the bedroom and this one here. They work wonderfully. There's different settings. You can turn them every which way. It's really, I just love it. And it was only like $21, $22, something like that. And then down here, I think you may have seen this recently. This is my Ficus macrame and my Ficus ruby. Now here, I can explain. Okay, so these 2, this is my Monstera Deliciosa that I had gotten. I think it was Lowe's on clearance and I thought I could save it, but it had like this coloring on the leaves and it wasn't growing right and the leaves weren't opening, so I finally just cut it way back. I just chopped it down, took it out, looked at the roots. The roots were actually really good. There was no rottingness, brownness, nothing like that. They looked really good. So I added some worm castings and put it back in, some fresh soil, and I'm just waiting. It's not soft in any way, and I'm just waiting for it to give off new growth. I'm hopeful. Now this here is this is actually a Fiddle Leaf Fig tree. And this is one that I had tried to save from clearance. I think I got it at Plant Stand of Arizona. And the leaves were falling and they were falling. And finally, the last one fell. And then I noticed that it was giving off, let me get a little closer, that it was giving off new growth. See that? And right there. So I put it over here. See all that new growth right there? You got the zoomies? Oh my goodness. What are you doing? What? What are you doing? You got the zoomies? I put it over here near this grow light. Changed it to a smaller pot because I think the pot that I had it in was too big. Gave it some fresh soil, some worm castings, and I'm going to let it sit and see what this new growth does and see if it'll come back, because I think these new growth signs are inspiring, don't you think? Yeah. So this is my Ficus Elastica, regular green one. I'll put the name on here, I forget it right now. But it's doing okay. It's kind of waking up. This here was a cutting I took that I propagated it. The cutting actually is in the living room, potted up. It's doing fine. And it gave off this shoot here that's growing. So that's doing good. Now here, this is the only window in the room. It is east facing. Sorry for the glare. I'll close a little bit the blinds. See if that helps. So it's east facing. I leave the blinds open all the time so they get some dappled morning light. Let's start on top here. This is my Senecio Jacobsonii, or trailing jade. I have two. I have the regular green one and then the variegated one. Ooh, little dried up leaf there. So I just repotted this into a smaller pot because I did lose a couple of stems, and I think it's doing better in this more snug pot. I do love this cashpo that I put it in. It has a Monstera pattern on it. I got that at Plant Stand. And then this is my cat's tail. No, wrong animal, rat's tail. This is my rat's tail cactus, and it's growing a lot. You can see, look at that. It didn't have that long piece there when I got it. But the sun here, it loves the sun, and it's just giving off new growth. So it's doing great. I'm hopeful that it will bloom. And this is a Ripsalis up here. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen if I can find it. And here is another Thanksgiving cactus. This is a white one. And look how the leaves are so colored. You see that? You can see the leaves there are so pink with tinge, and that is from the sun stress here. But it just finished flowering again. And this is my string of pearls that is growing like crazy. And I did propagate this in the sense of I took one of the strands and I laid it on top and put these pins down to hold it down. I do believe it's taking hold because it's giving off this growth here, and I think that will fill up the top here. But look how much it's growing. It loves this in this picture, and I just take this out when I want to water it, because if I were to try to water it while it's in here, the water just runs off the side really. So I take it out, water it, and then put it back in. But I love the look of it being in this water pitcher, and it does well. Normally it does not swing around like this all the time. There. This is my Hoya Cumingiana, what's left, the stem that's left, and that other one that I'm trying to propagate. But this one's doing okay. It's not showing any signs of dying. Here is my something fell there. My string of dolphins that is reverted. It has some still that are dolphins, and I actually, let me see if I can get some of them. Notice that some of the new growth, some of them are coming in. You can see it here. Some of them are coming in more as dolphins. See that? But some of them are not. But I love the plant anyways. I mean, I like the little leaves on it anyway. Here is my string of bananas. And this one had spider mites. That's why it's looking so haggard, but it does have a few strands that are recuperating. I am propagating the other strands to put them back into this pot and make it fuller. But the string of bananas is doing good. My peace lily here, the domino peace lily, it's doing great, giving off lots of new growth, lots of new leaves. And then up here on the table, I've got my burro's tail, and it's doing fabulous also. Look at all the new growth on it. And up here, doing great. This is a smaller one than the one that's out on the patio. I purchased them separately, but this one's doing great here. It loves the morning sun. Now you all remember my spider plant that I was going to throw away because I had it. Look at her. She's doing okay. Look at all the new growth she's giving off. I took the advice from some of my subscribers, and I'm letting her dry out completely before I water her. And that seems to be working, and she loves the morning light here. So yeah, she's coming back. That's great. Now here is the string of hearts that I propagated. I had cut these 2 strands, and those pieces are the ones that are in the propagation box, but see how they're growing? See if I can get it here. Giving off new leaves, and they're growing. And I also did a piece here in the center where I pinned it down, and that seems to be taking. So it's got some new growth in there, and it seems to be working. And then it has that one longer strand that I left that's still growing too. So when the other strands are ready to be repotted, I will take this one and those strands and probably move them to, this is a 4-inch, probably move them maybe to a 5-inch container and put them all together to fill it all in. Now another plant that you probably remember is this Philodendron Brazil. I had my original one with all these little haggard strands or vines. Well, I took some cuttings from the other one and rooted them and put them in here. And I'm hoping that that will fill up this pot here. This is my Alocasia Maharani. It just gave off a new leaf, this one right here. You can see by the red underneath. It's newer than that one. That's the red's kind of worn off. And it did lose a leaf. It's like almost like a new leaf opens up, a leaf dies. Now this one did have spider mites also, but the lowrider, you know, got it continuously. This one only had it one time. So what they say about alocasias and spider mites, I think, is true as far as they attract them. I don't know, but they're notorious for them. At least in my experience, it has been that way. This is my other Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. The second one I got that I know is not tissue culture, and it's giving off new leaf there. These are cuttings of Micans that I received, and they did well, and then they started not doing well. So I took them out and water propagated them, got better roots on them, and I just repotted all of them together here, and it's giving off new leaves. So I'm hoping that it will do well. See, I'm still struggling with gnats. And my Peperomia lemon lime. See the coloration there. This one I lost a few stems on it, so it's got one left, but it's doing good. It's giving off a new leaf there, and this is a new one too. And this is my Xanadu. I think it's been renamed something else, but I still know it is Xanadu, Philodendron Xanadu. And it's doing okay. I think the leaves should be a little bit bigger, but it's still a juvenile, so it's loving it here. So over here, I've got storage underneath there of, you know, just bamboos, baskets, pots. And I use those vintage suitcases to hold things up, kind of like a table, but they do have storage in them of just some old books and magazines. And I've got my artwork on the table, some of my collectibles, more of my artwork. And, you know, I just surround myself with the things that I love, my plants, my artwork, my collectibles, vintage things. And that's, you know, what makes me happy. This chair here I got at Goodwill. I think it was like $30. The cushions are new. They're from Home Goods. I think they were $20 each. And it's very comfortable to sit here and just relax and read and film, all of that. This is my golden pothos back here, and it is on top of a wood stool that I got at Goodwill. I've propagated this a lot. And she's kind of in a corner here with low lighting, and she was really the only plant that I could put here that I knew was going to be okay with the low light in this corner. And really she only gets ambient light, a little bit from the window and a little bit from the grow lights, but she's doing okay. I'm going to have to put that vine up on the moss pole too. Then on the table here, I've got one of my newer babies, my Monstera Deliciosa, that I got from Steve's Leaves. Love it. Hasn't missed a beat. I think it lost one leaf down at the bottom, but it's bushy down at the bottom. It's giving off lots of new leaves down in there, but it's also growing up this bamboo stick too. Raindrop Peperomia from Costa Farms. And I did repot this one from that really grainy soil that they had to something chunkier. You can see here. I think it's the tanks, the Della Tanks soil. And I did lose one plant. I think there were like 2 plants in here. But this one here is connected down at the bottom. And it's doing good. It's giving off new leaves. Nice big one at the front there. This is my Philodendron bipennifolium. I think it's horse's head. Yeah, horsehead bipennifolium. It's doing good. This was given to me as cuttings, and the leaves are coming in a little small, so I'm hoping that they'll do better in the spring. And got a mirror there. This is one that I want to talk to you guys about. You probably remember me mounting my Staghorn Fern onto this vintage tray with some moss. It's doing okay. I'm not happy completely with it. It has lost some fronds, and it's not as you know, happy as I think it should be. I do take it down every 3 or 4 days, and I actually use the moisture meter, and I poke it inside into the moss there, and I put it down in there pretty good to check if it needs water. And when it does, I'll take it down and put water into the tray, and it sucks it up. But I'm feeling like it should be doing better than it is. So if it doesn't snap out of it in the next week or 2, I'm going to take it apart and check the roots and see what's going on in there. And this is my Maranta prayer plant, the red one. And this one, it gives off a leaf and a leaf dies. Gives off a leaf and a leaf dies. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not dead, but it's not like, you know, thriving as much as I would like it to. Then I've got my vintage art here. These are pages out of botanical books, and I just put them in these hangers here. And some old artwork that I got at a thrift store. In my fan for the summertime here in Arizona to keep me cool. And there you have it, friends. That is my plant room. I've got room to add more plants and more furniture, things like that. But I just love it in here. I love spending time in here, and not only just, you know, propagating things or repotting things, but filming videos for you guys. So let me know what you think of it. Do you have a plant room like this where you kind of escape to? I told my daughter, you know, I'm sorry, you can't move back in. If your marriage doesn't work out or whatever, you can't move back in because, you know, I've got a plant room now. So if you enjoyed this video, friends, please do give it a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much, friends. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye now.